Maybe you noticed something about us, the things we do so well. Hello, my name is Ria Arjun. I'm 9 years old, and I live in New York with my parents. Today, I'm going to show you a day in my life during the lockdown. Let's go. I start my day with a healthy breakfast. Always with some fruit and meat. And to go with that, I have some toast, or cereal, or waffles. Oh, it's time for my online classes. Follow me. My online classes are beginning soon. We do math, ELA, science, and social. I do my work online and make it. Shh, it's beginning soon. I'll catch you later. I just went for a brisk walk with my parents. We do it every day so we can clear our minds and get plenty of fresh air. It's around 4 p.m. in New York, and this is the time where I film for my YouTube channel, Rad. It keeps me engaged, and my friends love it. I retire for the day with reading. I love reading and helps me sleep really well. Especially during these COVID times, we need to remember that
in these COVID times,
stay safe, stay
what
wise.
perspective do you have to put there? There was a Sins beat running.
Well, I am.
So I don't know what it is about the people that are
Because I am a writer, a poet. I am South Sudanese.
And I turned this off before. That's the last time we heard this, he did that. Oh, I could not shut this shit off. I remember that. Oh, so apparently my lighting a joint pisses these people off to no end. So I'm gonna do it again. So when you see like 20 videos in a row of like garbage, like I don't seem to have a good reason. It's because they keep knocking me offline doing dumb shit to my system. So since I'm a dickhead too, I'm gonna just keep going back online. I'll finish this joint. And that was all I had plans for at the moment. Oh. And my spleen's gonna implode. I'm gonna fall down and die. Oh. Oh.
Don't be the delegate, go with the Jongana. 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 Because one is bigger than you, I think you want it, Anna. You're coming at the street, now stand the function. I know you know that I'm doing it, make it clear. I can't tell you. You're my nigga, my fear. That is the one that told them all over where. It's not me, I'm a match out, but 1 point from here. I'm gonna put a in the place and make something straight. You know, that's not good, they got the bomb of flat here. So I am the one that makes them in the internet. Yeah, you're small like a mouse, I'm just a fake like a beer. But never drink, start drink, so much drink. Yeah, I make it last year, but me better this year. I did it down, did it. It's the champion, I did it, no champion. Champion, it's the champion sound. It's the champion now. Me used to stand up on the side, man, from the corner. Me used to reach up with me brethren from the Nova. And the blocks them I end up in a different area. Them not know that it's always an entertainer. Used to drink up and they can't mix with water. You say, shut up your mouth, I hear me, mother. She used to ball out and me say ball out, Allah. And never know that I'm some of the wicked in me back. Get my back, them I they cannot give me with down. It's the place I'm in, but them I call it Canada. Second one never kind of say and so it's that I'm some of the damn structure. If they call it for tip, I miss it down Jamaica. Now people never get that in them I wonder. If I miss a black man, I must miss a white man. Listen up your dance and nice in the carry on. It's a Watch out me cool. So let's say I know my faith, but the cover give it a no alarm. I'm on praise, I pray to the good Lord, my soul's over. Me roll, yes I may roll, yes I may roll down in your body. We have the tool, up and down, yes we have the tool.
I did press the button to stop, but it didn't stop.
The province is promising more information in the coming days. Reporting live, I'm Michelle Mackey.
You don't see this every day. Caught on camera.
Lasting for over a century. Traveling for decades. Age for months. And carefully curated for that one special moment. Snyder's Snackers. Quality never gets old.
Side of Canada's busiest highway during rush hour after a brawl broke out in the express lanes of the 401 near Bayview. OPP tells me 2 tow trucks responded to a crash in the area and left one vehicle in need of a lift. Things escalated quickly with 2 people seen shoving and punching and almost throwing each other into traffic. Sergeant Kerry Schmidt.
All I know is that the people that were involved in that altercation fled before police arrived. And so if there's anybody with information that can identify these people, or has information for assistance in the investigation, return on to hear from them.
One in the ran into their car, drove away. So drama here on the 401 east of Bayview. Right now, everything's calmed down, which is good.
No one appears to be injured in the scuffles. Chopper 680 caught the dramatic moments on camera. You can watch it on 680news.com. Reporting live, I'm Karen Seolin.
Here with All News Radio 680 News at 10:06. The date of the next federal budget has been unveiled, and the Trudeau government will introduce its fiscal plan to recover from the pandemic on April 19th. Our Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney takes a look.
This will be the first budget from the federal government in more than 2 years after last year's was canceled due to the pandemic. And the House of Commons Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland says the feds will continue to support Canadians and businesses.
We have a plan for jobs and robust growth.
This will be Freeland's first budget since becoming finance minister last summer. The government's already said it will include measures to green the economy and national child
the budget will balance
$100
itself,
billion in stimulus spending. The deficit is expected to be more than the $381 billion predicted in the fall. This all comes as Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole demands the federal government produce a plan to support an end to COVID-19 restrictions.
A serious, data-driven, safe plan for reopening.
Aside from travel and border restrictions, a majority of lockdown measures are from provincial governments. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
680 News Time, 10:07. This just into 680 News. One person has been rushed to a trauma center with serious injuries following a multi-vehicle crash in Mississauga. The crash took place around 9:15 this evening. Peel Regional Police Constable Sarah Patton describes what happened. The other driver remained on scene. Police are asking motorists to steer clear of the Queensway East and Tadlow area while the investigation is ongoing. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this developing story.
The head of the union representing Toronto's Catholic elementary teachers is calling for schools with high COVID-19 cases to be shut down, but that won't happen, according to the Minister of Education. 680's Phil Martino with more.
Julie Altamare D'Annunzio, president of Toronto Elementary Catholic Teachers, says half of the Catholic elementary schools in Toronto have active COVID cases. She's calling for schools with high COVID cases to shut down.
My teachers definitely are working very hard each and every day. They're very dedicated to care for our students. They want to be at school, but if it's becoming not a safe place to be, it's problematic.
But Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the government's position is that schools should remain open for the mental health and development of children.
That's
and
what they
kids
call
deserve
themselves,
and have a right to
co-parents.
be
They are
in
your
school.
kids'
70%
co-parents.
of cases in the schools cited have one case of COVID. Let's be clear, 99% of schools in Toronto are open today. 99% of students and staff have no active case of COVID at all. Our schools have been safe.
Well, you can say that about the general population, too.
The Blue Jays bats came out to play tonight against the Phillies in Clearwater. Brett Gunning recapped.
99% of the general population doesn't have COVID either, you fucking idiot. That's wonderful. That's like, this isn't a problem then, is it? Right? Wow, these guys are fucking stupid. I was going to go away, but now I'm not. That joint got me motivated. Where is all my free fucking memory going? Wow. Oh, wait, it's 10 o'clock. It's not 11. Right.
Hanging was better than I deserved. You don't know Sheriff Elford? No, I never spoke for. No, you don't believe in wasting time with trials and juries. I wouldn't be the first man bails let the boys take care of. I see. That's why I had to get away. I knew I couldn't run too far for her to catch up with me out here in this tangle. Well, you are kind of boxed in. I figured a day or so and the fellas would cool down, listen to reason. Maybe they'd even pick up the real killer's trail for them. I thought you was one of Vale's posse when I heard your horse. That's the reason I fired. I wasn't aiming to kill anybody, understand, Britt? Just...
Oh,
damn it. We were talking about Afghanistan earlier.
The archive reports that all gun-related deaths in 2020 totaled 43,536.
Where?
A horrific figure that would not be considered normal or acceptable in any other high-income country. The one category of gun violence that actually went down in 2020, mass shootings.
Why do you buy yourself a gun?
After the two worst years on record.
No,
But even that trend is now changing. Last week, a gunman armed with a 9mm that he just purchased hours before the rampage killed 8 people at 3 spas in the Atlanta area. And then Monday, a gunman who police told CNN and the Denver Post was armed with a rifle, killed 10 at a Boulder, Colorado supermarket. No other industrialized nation has gun violence at anywhere close to these levels. Our rate of firearm homicides is 6 times Canada's.
It depends on you.
And I'll just put it on pause there. I read stuff like this, I listen to Shepard Smith, I read Max Booth and so many others, and yes, I do feel lucky. Not complacent, not smug, just lucky to be a Canadian.
You always got 911 on
What about you?
3 speed dials, don't you?
1-877-399-9898. All of us with any sense of decency, kindness, or compassion have nothing but sympathy for our neighbors. But they're constantly telling us that we're lucky to be living here. Do we agree with them?
You're talking about health care, not shootings.
1-877-399-9898. If you're texting us, please give us your location.
That $48,000
and first name.
Get shot, right?
Text or call 1-877-399-9898.
Or whatever they charge.
That's Canadian common sense in the greatest country on earth. This is Charles Adler tonight.
Don't miss your daily fix of Canadian common sense. Subscribe to the Charles Adler Tonight podcast for free.
How long can this crap go?
Most vulnerable, and helping to nurture a fragile peace in some of the world's most dangerous places.
What?
During this pandemic, UN peacekeeping is performing vital peace and security tasks and continuing to deliver
That transferring data collectors is blocked.
helping to respond, supporting national and local authorities,
Designed now for limited
training,
The company that charged that 90-year-old
reports at 10:21 with the forecast. Here's Natasha.
protecting ourselves and partners.
7 degrees, that's your morning wake-up temperature. So a mild start and above seasonal through the afternoon, up to 15 degrees once again.
7 means
Cooler
that shit's
near the
gonna
lake
melt.
around 9 or 10 degrees down lakeside. Mainly cloudy with some sunny breaks and some on and off scattered showers. So yes, you'll want the umbrella with you. There is a slight risk of late day thunderstorms into the evening, lasting for a few hours. And then by Thursday morning, we're waking up to sunshine again, increasing cloud. Most of Thursday's dry and very mild. Mildest day of the week at 19 degrees. And then rain re-enters the GTA by Thursday evening. Tonight down to low 7 degrees.
Severe. We're gonna
Right now in downtown Toronto, 13 degrees, partly cloudy. It's 12 at Pearson with some clouds. 680 News Time, 10:13.
The kids at Holland Bloorview Rehabilitation Hospital have been feeling a lot more isolated this year because of the pandemic. However, the Toronto Maple Leafs were able to put smiles on the faces of over 100 kids in a virtual Q&A session. That's wonderful. Got to share some.
Who made the worst fucking plays to come out of the lockdown was the professional sports, and who keeps. Weren't there 4 different cases where people said, "Oh, I was wrong," and it sounded like they were dying when they said it?
Yeah, his brother was killed yesterday. He went up for murder.
Damn it.
Child disability research. Your headlines are next.
This is 680 News.
these days. People.
What does that mean? Child disability research. That sounds bad.
Cross from the Ongoing History of New Music podcast. Your next favorite podcast could be.
They used to give this guy like an hour.
Online remote learning. It's a highly improvised situation. But education generally has long been a pressing global issue. 264 million children worldwide have no access to it at all, and the pandemic has made things much worse. Currently, around 463 million children are not receiving any form of education, neither in the classroom nor at home. Better to have a bit of school than none at all. That's the motto of the Mexican government. Its current education program centers around something found in most living rooms.
They get millions of the motherfuckers, and they can't kill them off. Just kill these bugs.
A kitchen for a classroom. And instead of pen and paper, a remote control. It's a way of learning that calls for a lot.
Damn it! You eat this cable TV.
So.
I'll do my best.
Between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 in the evening, all middle school students in Mexico watch classes on TV. Topics include the Big Bang and Galileo. They said Galileo went to prison, but I don't get why. 11-year-old Christopher's questions will remain unanswered. The government-funded program broadcasts a new class every day. Infection levels in the country are still high, and children may not yet return to the classroom. Christopher doesn't want to get the virus in case he infects his grandmother. Next up is music, followed by math. Christopher is glad when his mother comes home from work earlier than usual.
Once again, here is Charles Adler.
Yes, but I only understand half of it.
Hilda is a single mother. She's supposed to work the whole day, but she wants to be there to help her son get used to this new question.
Yes, Chuck.
This is Charles Adler Tonight. Once again, here is Charles Adler.
There is nothing more interesting to me
You're wrong,
than the
Chuck.
audience rejecting my premise.
I told you were wrong, Chuck. I didn't want to be.
Nothing more interesting to me than the audience saying, Chuck, you know what? That's the wrong question. That's the wrong question, Chuck. What do you mean?
If I wasn't high, eh?
Are we lucky to be Canadians?
Yeah, fuck you. Who the fuck?
Because
are you?
we
What's
have
this Canada
substantially
mean?
less gun violence. Chuck, what makes you what gives you the impression that the violence is anything to do with guns? What gives you the impression that this writer, by the way,
one murder weapon in Canada and
was a
Britain is an
card-carrying
edged
Republican
weapon.
most of his life? What gives you the impression that he's right in taking a shot at Republicans for not passing gun legislation?
This is the Republicans' fault.
They're lucky to be Canadian. Are you kidding? They've got more freedom, Chuck. Don't you see that? What kind of a suck are you?
You don't have to register our long guns.
I'm just
Look at free healthcare too.
Imagining some of the rhetoric going on in my mind of people who don't want to say what's true. We are lucky. And I'm not suggesting we're lucky because we have different gun legislation. That isn't even the point. We're a different society. But yeah, we have limits on guns. Far more than
38 million people.
The Americans have. Now, I understand that it's a political issue. It's always a political issue. And we got many people in the audience who feel that Trudeau milks this issue. And why is Chuck helping Trudeau? Because, of course, that's what it has to be about. The commentator is saying something that is similar to something politicians say, specifically Liberal. Well, that means the commentator's in the tank, right? And if you do no thinking, I guess that's what it means. I mean, there are people, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, they think that the first thing I do when I get out of bed, I ask myself, how can I help Justin Trudeau today? Because everything matters to me. It's always mattered to me. On behalf of people who know me, nothing could possibly matter less to me than that. Nothing. However, I understand we're living in a very politicized and polarized environment, but I always get a kick out of those questions that elicit no responses based, no doubt, on the fact that the premise of the question is so unfortunate and so erroneous. How dare the guy on the radio ask his national audience the question, do you feel lucky to be a Canadian? Because American writers are telling us we are, and American commentators are telling us we are. Because our society doesn't have that same level of gun violence. So they feel we're safer, and they feel crazy people. These crazies feel that if we're safer, we must be luckier. We must be more fortunate because they think that safety is a fortunate thing. They think if we're not in the position of Mr. Gonzalez, who said the only thing that gunman in Atlanta left him with was fame because he took everything else that mattered to him, well, the writers are just exploiting somebody's pain. What the hell does this have to do with Canada? And in my humble opinion, it has everything to do with us. I think we are lucky to be in a safer society. I think we are lucky not to be inundated with morons on the day after mass shooting telling us that it isn't about guns. It's about mental illness. We need more guns. Everyone in that supermarket had a gun. They could have taken the bad guy down. The supermarket had hired more private security personnel with guns. They could have taken the bad guy down. Because the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Oh, God, I used to hear that every day. Every day. I'd just about vomit. Every damn day I worked in the United States, I would hear that line. The only way to take... And guns don't... Anyway. Pardon me. Sharp and vivid memories. I was suggesting earlier about a particular politician commenting on this. Smart guy, ordinarily, like a lot of politicians, smart ordinarily, but strapping on the idiot monkey suit, strapping on the stupidity suit, pretending not to have the brain of a human being because she feels that the voters don't want that. They want a dumbed down version. And so he said that the mass shootings, whether it's Atlanta or Boulder, they have to do with the fact that there's anti-police rhetoric out there, and it's the anti-cop attitude that is motivating people to participate in mass shootings. I thought to myself, oh my God, Tom Cotton, his name, Senator Tom Cotton, smart man. The real Tom Cotton is a smart man. This version is just pathetic. And I was messaging earlier that if you honestly feel that in your chosen profession, you've got to dumb it down right to the ankles, choose something else. Honest to God, choose something else. So as I was suggesting, I used to hear this dumb rhetoric every day, not from dumb people necessarily, but it's just something they said because it made a certain audience feel good. The only way to stop. And nothing's changed. I haven't been a resident there since what, 96? Yeah. 96. Do the math. 2006 is 10 years. 2016 is 20 years. 2021, add another 5. I haven't been a resident there in a quarter of a century. And it's just like it was yesterday when I see this stuff. Nothing has changed. Nothing has progressed in this area. It's frustrating. Because I feel that they're my friends, they're my neighbors, and in many cases, they're my family. And I want things to get better. I don't want to have American writers telling me that I'm lucky to be a Canadian. I want American writers writing that progress has been made. And it's as safe to live in the USA as it is in Canada. And I'd like for Canada to be safer. There are many countries that are safer than ours. But I do understand that some people have this idea that it isn't about the guns. It's something else that's going on. Must be something else. Because guns are just too important. Nobody should ever demonize a gun. Guns don't kill people. Only people do that. And it's just mindless liberal rhetoric to be against maximum ownership of the maximum amount of guns available. Cap from Toronto is texting, feel very fortunate to be Canadian. USA folks have the right to bear arms. Let them have guns, but outlaw ammunition. I don't, Cap, in Toronto, I don't understand what you're saying. It won't be dangerous without ammo. I get that, but I don't see that happening. But thank you very much for the text and thanks for the thought. In a few moments, I want to do something completely different about movies and how very soon we're going to get back to the movies. And how do we feel about that? In a moment, right here on Cheryl's Answer tonight.
See why critics are raving about Clarice.
I'm trying to find out how deep this goes.
Calling it a lion among lambs.
Buffalo Bill can't seem to let you go.
Haunting, chilling,
I see his face.
and thrilling modern entertainment.
I need to know if I'm remembering things as they happen. Are you sure you want to remember?
Clarice. New episodes return Thursday, April 1st on Global. Also available on Stack TV.
I am going to get in.
Ah, great. I got a chance to get out of town early. My car battery decides to pack it in. Thanks for holding us up. Rush hour's building and I'm stuck. Oh, but not for long. I got Abrams towing in my phone. Abrams recruits only the best drivers, fully licensed and insured. With Abrams, I know I won't get ripped off.
You need a tow?
I'm good. Called Abrams.
You can trust Abrams Towing. Put it in your phone now. 416-398-2500. 416-398-2500.
Stephen, I'm thinking of adding physical gold to my portfolio.
Well, I wouldn't do it. It's volatile and it doesn't pay a dividend.
Really? Because I researched gold, and it actually has averaged over 8% a year since 2002. That's a lot more than I'm getting with you.
But you're going to have to pay to store it, and how are you going to sell it?
Actually, it's easy to store, and it costs less than your yearly management fee. And I found out that through Guildhall, that buying and selling happens on a phone call.
Have you ever thought about owning physical gold or silver and been told it's a bad idea? Thank goodness for Guildhall. Guildhall Precious Metals will put you first. With Guildhall, you can discover how owning physical gold and silver could protect your financial future and cost your pocket less. Go to guildhallwealth.com, where it's all about you.
Sorry, Stephen. I want to do things my way. I'm heading to Guildhall.
Guildhall is gold.
Reopen your business to customers safely. Join the growing number of businesses turning to NanoNation, a disinfectant process that kills viruses on contact, including the COVID-19 virus. NanoNation is a Health Canada approved hospital-grade persistent protection electrostatic process that is applied to all surfaces, including frequently touched and hard-to-reach areas, and is 99.9% effective. Our application of NanoNation's BioProtect solution coating is proven to last for up to 90 days. To have your location serviced, visit nanonationcanada.com.
Prioritizing your family's health is important, and getting an annual eye exam is an essential part of it. So visit your neighborhood Pearl Vision. They put safety first, and right now they're offering 40% off lenses for adults and free lenses for kids with frame purchase. They direct bill most insurance plans too, making the process easy. Why wait any longer? Arrange your family's eye exams at pearlvision.ca today. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends 4/30/2021. Exams available at the independent doctors of optometry at or next to Pearl Vision.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville realised we all have things we should cut back on. For me half-brother Raoul, that's ordering inflatable toys. For others, it's carbs. So Pizzaville made the extra thin crust pizza. You get the same authentic Italian taste as our regular pizza, but with 2/3 less carbs. Because the last thing Raoul wants is an inflatable waist.
Pizzaville Stone-Baked Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
Everyone deserves to have a roof over their heads and food in their bellies. The pandemic has hit us all hard, and the impact is visible on our streets. COVID-19 has left far too many people homeless, but you can help. When you donate your unwanted vehicle to Homeless Cars, you'll receive a minimum $400 tax receipt, and Homeless Cars can continue their fight against homelessness and food insecurity. Donate a car, change a life. A single donation can provide shelter for at least 10 nights or 150 bagged meals. Make a difference today.
This is Global News. I'm Safia Parani. Health Canada reassures Canadians the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and effective, but it's working to add a warning about blood clots. The vaccine is facing accusations within the United States that the company's preliminary trial results reported Monday were misleading. Health Canada's chief medical advisor, Dr. Supriya Sharma, said the U.S. trial issue hasn't affected Canada's authorization last month. It was based on trials in the United Kingdom and Brazil. And the president of the Business Council of Canada says the federal government needs to provide economic hope to Canadians in its first budget in more than 2 years. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland says the federal Liberals will table a budget on April 19th. It is expected to outline the Liberals' plan to spend between $70 and $100 billion over the coming years in fiscal stimulus to help the economy recover. BCC President Goldie Hyder says if Ottawa wants to build confidence, it needs to present a comprehensive and credible plan that spurs investment, private sector job creation, and long-term economic growth. And the United Nations, the U.S., Russia, and the European Union have met virtually to discuss relaunching the long-stalled efforts to get Israel and the Palestinians to negotiate a two-state solution to their decades-old conflict. Envoys for the four Mideast mediators, known as a quartet, said they are discussing returning to meaningful negotiations that will lead to a two-state solution, including tangible steps to advance freedom, security, and prosperity for Palestinians and Israelis. There have been no substantive Israeli-Palestinian peace talks since 2014. The UN sent out the quartet statement after polls closed in Tuesday's Israeli election. From the Global News Desk, I'm Safia Parani.
This is Charles Adler Tonight. Once again, here is Charles Adler.
We're going to the movies in a minute, but before we do that, email to charles@charlesadlertonight.ca. Charles, regarding your question, are you feeling lucky to be Canadian? I was born in a DP camp in Austria, meaning a displaced persons camp or refugee camp in Austria. Immigrated to Canada with my parents when I was 3. My dad, from a very early age, instilled gratitude and love for our adopted country. I recall my father saying more than once, we should kneel every day, kiss the ground, and give thanks for this blessed land that has accepted us. I think you have to listen to your ancestors' history stories to truly appreciate how lucky we are. And your show is a treasure. And thank you. Signed, Mary, in British Columbia. Mary, thank you. Thank you very much for the kindness and for reminding us what really matters. So is there a future for cinema in post-pandemic life in Canada? Let me just give you something from the Global News site before we move on, and I would and I could if it were to download, but it won't, so I won't give it to you from the Global News site. I'll just give it to you straight from the gut, as always. For many of us, going out usually means a movie and some dinner. Or so it's been difficult to do either. In many cases, restaurants are locked down in many parts of the country. And of course, the movie theater has been locked down. The movie theater is considered a dangerous place to be. I'm not mocking it, just reporting it. And one of these days, after enough of us get vaccinated and enough of whatever has to happen, whatever it is that makes public health authorities feel comfortable, at some point, the doors will reopen and we'll be able to go back to movies again. And I'm just wondering if it's something you're looking forward to. I have a feeling it's something Rick Forchuk is looking forward to. We're going to bring him on for just a bit, just to warm the kettle. Rick Forchuk is a movie and TV critic. He's a commentator. And we're glad to have access to him tonight. Mr. Forchuk, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure, Charles. Good to be with you again.
What was the best thing for you about going to the movies?
Well, it's more than just one thing. It's the entire experience. To coin a phrase from the advertising, big screen, big sound, big difference. Now, I've got a great home theater in my home, as do many people, but it's just not the same as the movie theater experience with the smell of the popcorn, the crackling of the cellophane wrap from the Twizzlers, watching all of the trailers of the movies yet to come, and then being in a place of darkness with a bunch of like-minded people watching something that just thrills you. I miss that dramatically, Charles.
So here's the deal. I mean, I don't have a theater inside my house, but I've got, TVs, nice TVs, no complaints. But here's the thing.
Wonderful.
The movie, to me, as I remember as a kid, movies were always so much more vivid than life itself, so much larger than life.
I thought he was going.
It doesn't happen on TV. I'm not saying that they can't access my imagination.
Welcome to who the fuck went over there?
But there's something about that huge screen with those huge speakers.
Right now.
You get enveloped in a way.
They've all survived a bitingly cold night in their sleeping bags and bivouacs. They had to keep feeding their fires to ward off the children.
Anti-Asian.
Joseph looks like he's feeling pretty wrecked. Not that he would say so.
A's in a row.
It was pretty good. It was enjoyable, yeah. I didn't wake up once, which was a nice change. But yeah, there's some loving blankets, worked pretty well.
It's the last day and time for the final exam.
Area that you haven't. So you're going to boil a litre of water. You'll have to get it off to the rolling boil. Set your saucer up and set the name.
Represent the old year. And this little baby picture alongside of him on the calendar is the new year.
Oh, he's a cute little baby Abbott. But he certainly wears expensive clothes.
Expensive clothes?
Look at the price tag on his diaper. 1946.
1946 is the new year.
Good shit.
What's wrong with you, Costello? 1946 is the new year. And fall time is the old year. Now, next Monday night, we ring up the old man.
Wait a minute. Why ring up the old man?
No, I'll tell you what we do. No, look, please, just be quiet. I'll tell you what we do. I give up everything, you understand?
I give up too.
All right, now I just give up. Just don't give up.
They should give up too.
Look, I don't know why I always waste time with you. I'm going home.
Oh, Abbott, please don't go. I want you to try my new haircut machine. Just stick your head in here and I'll turn it on. Go ahead. Hey, Abbott, this machine is wonderful. It changes your whole appearance.
What do you mean, change my whole appearance? What did you do to my head?
Oh, I just brought out the natural brilliance.
Would you say I'm no longer a blonde?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Would you say I was a redhead?
No, I wouldn't say that either.
Would you say I was a brunette?
Definitely not.
Then for heaven's sakes, what would you call me?
Oh, Baldy!
Bill Aldrin and the Camel Orchestra bring us How Deep is the Ocean?
Oh, I guess we missed the first.
You do up ladies' hair in buns.
Yes, I do.
What do you do with all the crumbs?
Hey, that's a very funny joke. I think I'll pull it on Abbott. Hey, Abbott, do you do up ladies' hair in buns?
No, I always put a rat in their hair.
Now, what am I going to do with the crumbs?
Oh, you're stuck, aren't you?
No, I can always give the crumbs to the rat.
Look, why don't you cut out these stale jokes and get busy and clean up this place? Throw those dirty towels in that hamper over there.
Okay.
Costello, what happened? What kind of towels were those?
Cannon towels. Hey, I just never with a bang, did it?
Oh, let me out of here. Oh, let me out of here. I've got to get out of here. Please, let me out of here so I can play with those other little rabbits.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, just a little ingrown hair. That guy looked as... Well, that guy looked as dumb as a rabbit.
And he does it good, too, doesn't he? He's dumber than a rabbit. A rabbit knows his arithmetic.
Yeah, sure.
Is that some beauty shop? Yeah, yes, it is.
Well, save me your beauty for 8 o'clock, huh?
Hey, you know, I passed your house last night and I saw the Christmas tree lit up on the porch.
Oh, the tree is in the living room. That was me. Costello, what kind of a place is this? You haven't had a customer today.
Oh, hey, yeah, but look who's coming across the street. It's the actress, Bessie Lane Mucho.
Hello, boys. I just dropped in to congratulate you on the opening of your new shop. I think it's just too enchanting.
Yes, yes, it's the bean.
I'd like to make an appointment for Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon.
Ah, yes, Daddy, you know what Saturday is. That's the day after Fruit Day. And the day before Sunday.
Yes, I'm going to see the big football classic. New Year's Day out at Pasadena.
Oh, yes, Pasadena, lovely place. That's the home of the Rose Bowl. I could have said that now.
I can hardly wait to see all Alabama play. Are you betting on Alabama?
No, I'm putting all my Rooney on the Trojans.
Oh, Mr. Costello, you are the cutest man. You make me feel so romantic.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like squeezing your hand.
Why don't you put your arms around me and give me a big hoop? Maybe you would like to test my looks.
Hey. Oh, Costello, here's your girlfriend. Lean against it.
Well, Costello, I finally caught you with your arms around another girl. You poor man's Tommy Manville. I can't help it. Miss Mucho likes me. She thinks I'm all the movie stars roll into one. That one in the back must be Andy Devine. No, Lena, don't say that. I want you two guys to be friends. Miss Mucho, say hello to Lena. Lena, say hello to Miss Mucho. How quiet the hellos are tonight! Miss Mucho, I've seen you in lots of pictures. Didn't you play the title role in Lassie Come Home?
Oh, charming you are. I seem to recognize you. Where are you wrestling tonight?
Have you had your milk today? Look, Miss Mucho, keep away from Costello. His arms belong to me.
But his lips belong to me.
His brain belongs to me. Wait a minute. I'm getting the short end of this.
But I don't see nothing alone, Mr. Costello. I'll see you tomorrow. Hasta mañana to you.
A peanut scallopino to you? Hey, you know my French is improving? Well, Costello, this is the end of everything between us.
Now, wait a minute, Lena. That wasn't Costello's fault. Please, honest.
No, Lena. I can't help it if I have a winning personality. I can turn my charm on and off like a faucet. You must have a loose washer. All I can hear is a little drip.
Oh, don't pay any attention to him, Lena. Look, he isn't very, B-R-I-G-H-T.
Yes, he does appear to be a little, S-T-U-P-I-D.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Fast. Power comes with a light and free. Even if you're insured. So don't ignore that chip. Book your appointment today at speedyglass.ca.
Through with you, Costello. I'm going back to Brooklyn and marry my old sweetheart, Mr. Schultz, the grocery man. Oh, believe me, Mr. Schultz is 70 years old and you're only 25. Did you ever hear of the May and December romance? Yeah, he's falling over into the middle of January. There's no...
Another location in the warehouse. This is the fully automated area. It is 24 meters, 60 meters wide, 150 meters long. It has more space than the largest Trippz of